On today's show, things are really heating up. The Bears, they can't do anything right. Do we have a GM replacement, perhaps? Mal's idea of a marquee, and for what it's worth, something we've been speaking about. And coach infighting, worrisome or fake? Let's dive in.
Today we can announce that the Perth Bears are about to become part of the National Rugby League competition.
Yeah, we are the Griswolds, Grizzly Lifelong as a Dysfunctional Community, a Perth Bears podcast, independent and fan-focused. I'm Phil, I'm a sports broadcaster and journalist, and as always, I'm joined by former radio presenter, future psychologist, and present brand new dad, Mitch. How are we, Mitch? Sleep deprived?
Not really.
As per usual?
As per usual, but it's been a month, Phil. We're a month in.
Time flies. Time flies.
What the hell? No, good. We were up till only 3 o'clock this morning, so that's not too bad.
That's an improvement on last week.
Yeah, got an early mark. No, it was good. He's growing up. He's got a big head, so he's got the temper like his father, as you probably would be remembering of when we were younger. But yeah, big weekend in terms of Bears information. So
it certainly has been. Yeah, there's plenty to dive into. I think things could get a little bit heated on this show first. We'll start with a slightly more positive note, though. You obviously would have noticed the kit I've worn on today's show. For those listening, please go and find us on YouTube, and you can check it out for yourself. But the more mid to late 90s iconic edition with the red top, the white through the middle, obviously famous with the Citibank sponsor, and then the black down the bottom. There's talk that's what our away jersey is going to be inspired by, the Perth Bears. It's just a word on the corner, I believe. It hasn't come from official places yet, but where there's smoke, there's fire, and I'm pretty sure all the original Bears fans are pretty happy about it.
100%. That's actually something I heard early on, Phil. Like, it wasn't like I'm actually... What I heard was because they're trying to honour the heritage of the Bears as well as the Perth. So one of the things I heard was that they would have our North Sydney Bears colours as the away colours, and then the sort of the more Perth Reds or the Western Reds, whatever they were, sort of more coloury stuff at home. Don't know how that would work, but I'm keen. Like, I hope they copy what the Swans... Okay, again, AFL thing, but I hope they copy what the Swans did with South Melbourne. So whenever Swans play in Melbourne or Victoria, they actually use the South Melbourne jerseys.
The white, the
white with the red, because that's what the South Melbourne colours were, which I think are great because it touches upon the old South Melbourne fam. So I think by doing having the old North Sydney Bears colours, it's going to resonate with the North Sydney Bears fans a bit more, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, it's a good point. Looking forward to more info on that. I don't think we're going to get it until August when these jerseys come out. I mean, look, we might have a leak, given all the instability that goes on over in the Perth HQ these days. But who knows? We'll wait and find out. Speaking of instability, no GM, of course. David Sharp's out the door. I just would like to sort of throw something by you. So it's obviously come out in the last week or so that Ben Ikin will be leaving his post as CEO of Queensland Rugby League, and based on things that I've heard, I saw something online from Paul Kent's podcast, and obviously Kenty spent a lot of years working very closely with Ben Ikin at Fox Sports, and Kenty has come out saying things like, "Look, Ben will announce what he's doing next when he wants to. I'm not going to do that for him. It's not my place to do that for him." That shows the respect that the two have, I suppose, for each other. But it's apparently a life-changing opportunity and a big deal. And I'm trying to do the maths on the timeline. So, how long has David Sharp actually been out the door at the Perth Bears? And I'm thinking, is it possible? Is it actually possible that Ben Ikin is going to take up a huge position over at the Perth Bears? There have been murmurs and whispers about it. I mean, if it did happen, if it did eventuate, I'd be doing cartwheels. Massive cartwheels. He's an incredibly switched on operator. He was actually the one that turned the Brisbane Broncos around.
Yeah.
I don't think people remember that.
No.
You know, he quit the Broncos to take up the role with Queensland Rugby League in the middle of that season when they went on to make the grand final and somehow lose it.
Yep.
But when he arrived at Brisbane, they were in a world of
shambles.
pain.
They were. I'm keen. I think if what you say is or alluding to is what's going to happen, I'm very excited about the idea. I think
that would be absolutely huge. I mean, we're
just get him on
we'll
here.
find out eventually. Yeah. It sounds like Ikin's got something lined up. It's just a matter of what.
And if
basically,
if he does become part of the Bears, you could just hit him up and just bring him on here. Most prestigious podcast there is going around. So
absolutely, he did it. He was one of the guests at the North Sydney Bears held a breakfast last week, which I was going to go to, but didn't get myself organised in time.
How interesting.
So, whether there's... I mean, he obviously played for the Bears. Like, we all remember watching him run around. He was one of my favourite players, outside of the fact that he obviously played for Queensland.
Yeah.
But, and you know, they generally say don't meet your heroes, but I don't have a bad word to say about the way Ben treated me in my when we were together at Fox. And he's, from all reports, just a lovely human being.
Yep. No, that's what we... And again, that's... aligns with what the Bears are about. So I think...
Hey. I see.
See what I'm doing there?
So how about Mal Meninga? You know, we have all this stuff going on between Perth Bears board member James Bracey and Paul Gallen on 100% footy and uneducated Paul Gallen just taking shots and sending barbs across the panel. You know, taking some pretty heavy shots at Mal as well for the apparent lack of publicity that is being generated by this club. What are your thoughts on all this?
I think it's hard to... pisses me off, if I'm being blatantly honest. Like, Gal made a fool of himself in the sense of he obviously... in saying that...
Gal made a fool of himself?
I know,
Shocked me.
This is next level fool of himself, if you ask me, Phil. Is that sense of he was flaming the Perth Bears for not having Sorensen, because Sorensen wouldn't know what Perth's like, and getting him over there and paying for him to get over there so he has an idea of what it's like. Dude, the guy's wife's from Perth. So he's obviously been there, which is probably what caused him to want to go there. Instead of having that mentality of, oh, well, actually, he likes Perth because he's been there before, it's opportunity to go play over there, we have to, encourage him to get over there, which makes me pissed off because he hasn't, a lot of the media environment and a lot of the public, I suppose, is belief of they haven't taken this idea of Mal Meninga is doing his research and he's not trying to sell he's not having to try and beg people or sort of to come over. He's saying here's the idea, and the people who are sort of who are signed are generally people who are interested in investing in the sort of the foundation of the club and moving upwards, which is what I really think he's done really well in defending. He also addressed the idea of
connect, protect, respect.
Exactly, and then the idea of having no marquee or we haven't done anything. He was like, well, I really thought he stood up in a Mal way. I thought he was very, 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 very good, very, direct, in the sense of he's like, yeah, we might not have a marquee, but we've got marquees in the making. I think that comment there, that statement there, I was like, boom.
Marquees in the making. I mean, that's what you've been harping on about. You were the one that brought up the hammer at Redcliffe. Well, guess which example Mal used this week? We're selling opportunity, which is something I was obviously banging on about last week. And guess what? Guess what? Tyrone Wishart came out and told the 167 podcast this week.
Perfect. Exactly
opportunity.
That. Yep, exactly that.
Yeah. Maybe this is going to sound like a little bit overly contrarian, but I actually, because it's all come out as well that, even the Perth Bears board members are hitting up the NRL now for salary assistance. Something obviously not the same range that the PNG Chiefs are going to be afforded for the first 10 years of their existence, but some kind of assistance. And I hope we don't get any assistance.
Okay.
Basically, because I don't know how a money sugar hit really helps us.
No.
How often does more money actually solve the problems of anything? It'll encourage us to go and make reckless moves and reckless decisions, rather than actually building this thing the right way from the start and having a really solid foundation and understanding of what your strategic values are, how to build a sustainable business the right way. I don't think just, throwing extra cash at certain players is going to necessarily solve any of those problems in the early stages of our existence.
I'm personally on the sense of stuff getting assistance, because I love the fact of if we start beating teams without this assistance, we can say a big FU to them on that sort of front. That's why I'm sort of hoping we don't get the assistance
it throws the market out of whack again. PNG are already going to do that. I mean, surprise, surprise, all the other clubs have come out and said no, they shouldn't be given assistance, because then they're going to start to offer our players more money than what they're worth. I can understand that as well.
100%. I honestly think after 10 years... Okay, here's a question for you, Phil. Here's a question for you. Everyone's going about how, this got the likes of Luai and AJ and things going to the PNG. After 10 years, how hard is it going to be for them to get players? Because they won't have this tax-free money anymore. So my belief is... Well, yeah,
but by then they're hoping to the pathways allow them to generate their own talent.
But my point is, there's a what if in there. But what if it doesn't go off as well as they think? What are they going to do?
It will all be part of the process that they'll have to figure out. It's not going to solve any of the problems that we're going to have to face to be a sustainable team.
100%.
And to be clear, we're talking about roster construction here. How was Jerome Luai's contribution for the West Tigers on the weekend, by the way? Did it help them win?
No.
Look around the league. Look at how many teams have marquee players. And then also look around the league and look how many bad NRL teams there are.
Yep.
Just because you have a marquee player does not guarantee anything.
Exactly. So on that point, on the flip side, what the Bears have done in terms of having their marquees in the making, they've got the foundations there. They're growing them in there. So they're giving this opportunity, as we start, and as you've been saying, and we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, is they're giving the opportunity to fall in love with Perth, with the environment, like giving them the opportunity to play for 3 years, and then
to grow into a role that they don't have at their existing club
100%.
As well.
100%. Yep, 100%.
Wishart, case in point.
Yep, I can't wait for him to play in the tricolours. I'm so keen.
The one thing which we really need to clear up, I suppose, which hasn't been mentioned yet, is there is actually one thing that the NRL has granted us, which has probably gone underreported. We're actually going to be able to roster 36 players rather than 30 in that first year. The idea being it'll give us an opportunity to have more depth when the obvious kinds of issues start to arise, and the logistical issues of relocating all these players over to Perth. I'm not necessarily sure how that will fit in with our feeder situation with Brisbane Tigers and North Sydney Bears, of course, but that will operate under the same salary cap as every other side. It actually makes me wonder, is it actually does that actually do more harm than good? Because then we have to pay more players less than, not necessarily market value, but less than the average salary as well. So, but again, what it is forcing us to do is make calculated decisions and not blow money and blow the bank on any one player. The first representative level player that shows any kind of interest in coming to the club.
Well, you mentioned Moneyball, I think last week or the week before, playing that brilliantly. Now, speaking of, where the Bears have tabled a 2-year contract to McInnes.
Yeah, that's true. That came out.
That's a great. If that lands, he's going to bring a lot of knowledge and a lot of training standards to us. Doing things like that.
He's one of those experience pieces as well that we'll have in the middle of the park.
Yep.
He's obviously got that little bit of versatility factor to his game as well.
Yep.
I mean, I really want us to go hard at Connor Watson.
Yep.
And I think there's probably too much overlap between those two specific players.
Yeah.
But I'll take one of them.
I still think they can coexist. I think.
I agree. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I think Cam's role would be, look, his body might break down, but I think his role will be more impactful off the field than I think on the field. I think whilst he's a great player, he will be fantastic.
Oh, I mean, you hope not. You hope he's still got some good footy ahead of him.
What I'm saying is like he'll be fantastic on the field, but I think his impact will be will be much greater off the field.
His impact will be more holistic. But
yes.
At the end of the day, we're signing Cam McInnes to play good footy.
Exactly. And if anything, like if we have to, I reckon he'd be the type of player who wouldn't care if he came off the bench. I don't think he'd care. Like, I think he'd be the type of player who'd be like, you know what? I'm a team player. This is my role. This is what I'll play. I'll just fit in, which I think again fits in with our mantra. So, I think this week has been of all of the smoke and mirror of negativity. I think there's been a lot of positives coming through.
What do you make of Mal and Ben Gardiner rumours that they're not getting along?
No.
Not buying it?
No. Not yet.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I mean, look. Just because they might have disagreements doesn't mean they're going to fall out. Like, everyone disagrees. Like, I actually had the same conversation with my wife. Like, just because you have a disagreement doesn't mean you have to have a fight.
But how often does a succession plan actually work in coaching? Be that NRL, AFL, whatever. A recent example being Sam Mitchell and Alistair Clarkson at Hawthorn.
Yeah, rarely, I suppose. But, I mean, at the same time, people are saying that if Mal Meninga's role is just to set up the place and then let Ben Gardiner go, so be it. Who knows?
Yeah, but that's easier said than done, because Ben Gardiner's going to want to have his hands all over that football team, and so he should, by the way, because I'm not entrusting Mal Meninga to be the day in day out coach of this footy team. He needs to be more of a CEO type head coach. But if those guys aren't aligned, then there are big problems.
What if like I could see him going off, being part of the Bears but not being a coach. I can see him doing like a GM type role. I can see that. Yeah. I can see him being on the board but not necessarily being the coach cause
maybe eventually, but it sounds like he's genuine about wanting to do this specific job as a legacy piece. Yeah. And I'm totally fine with that if he does leave the club in good hands in a few years' time and in a good position.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm not buying into it yet. If there's any more rumours, I'll start biting. But I think at the moment, it's just there's so much, so many barbs thrown at the Bears. I think anyone's just sort of trying to grab a story and try and make something of it.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. My radar is up with Ben Gardiner. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, a bit worried.
Yeah. I've listened to him on a couple of podcasts and the radio. He was on SEN recently talking to Vossi, and I'm just getting PR vibes. Like, okay. I just hope that he just doesn't jump on every podcast between now and the end of time, just trying to work on his personal reputation more than anything else, because that was the knock on Jason Demetriou. Lovely fella. It didn't work out at Souths, and then you start to hear, I mean, he was great with all the dealings with all the people in the media and all that stuff, but maybe just wasn't a very good coach.
No, terrible.
And you just hope that Ben's not more worried about his own reputation as he is about actually coaching.
100%. I agree with you, but I don't reckon it's so much. I reckon he could be just asked to pick up some of the slack that Sharp left.
Potentially. I mean, it is murky because we're also asking for publicity. Well, not us personally, but people out there are asking for publicity, and then maybe I'm being overly critical of someone that is out there actually talking on our behalf, but slightly on my radar, not going to lie.
No. Look. There's always cause for concern. My father was built. What can go wrong will go wrong. But so you always have that in the back of your mind. That's how he built his business. So
I always try to be more optimistic.
But it doesn't focus on you. That's how he sort of prepares himself. But look, I can hear one little niggle. Okay, so be it. Like, I mean, if a couple of days time, a couple more niggles, I'm like, But I think right now there's so many smoke and mirrors. Which, I mean, the one thing I will say about the Gauss spill was it actually has prompted this conversation. A lot of conversations have been sparked.
Hasn't it just?
Which has been great. And in many cases, it has probably kicked the Bears into doing something a bit more publicly. But
yeah, I mean, who cares? Like, we'll do things our way. Exactly. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Now, there is talk that a few more signings will be announced over the coming weeks, and we'll wait to find out what they are. Now, obviously, the club is also saying we're just working on the timeline that the player wants to work on in terms of announcing that and respecting their existing club. So whatever, that'll come. Now, Metcalf, what's his first name? Luke Metcalf. Yep. I was thinking of Connor Metcalf there for a second. I don't know why. Luke Metcalf is reportedly on the way out of the Warriors. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he is. Look, that's big news, because it's unfortunate for him, because he was a great number 7 and then did his knee, and then obviously Tanner Boyd's come and killed it. Is there a spot for him in the Bears? Yes, I think, but as I think we talked off air, that you don't reckon there's a spot for him and Sexton. I think they're competing for the same role. Yeah,
like I think Metcalf is a good sort of dominant half in terms of the game management side of the equation. Didn't he wake up from his surgery and start recounting shape and block plays and all the rest of it? Clearly the dude is switched on for rugby league.
100%.
But I think that's kind of also the role that we want Sexton to play. Now, Dane Campbell, our recruitment manager, he was on the Bears podcast recently talking about we need to go and find a 6 that complements the skill set of Toby Sexton, which is exactly what I want to hear, by the way.
Yep.
But that also confirms Sexton's our 7. We need to go and find a 6 that complements Sexton's skill set. And I think that there's a lot of overlap with Sexton and Metcalf.
100%. It also confirms that Wishart is 9.
It does. I was thinking that as well. Yeah.
Look, I mean, you got to throw Humphries in the mix. Like, he's also a bit out of favour at the Bunnies, but he could have been out of the mix. You know, he got dropped on the weekend, which could be for the sake of maybe he has said to them he doesn't want to play for them anymore, and they're sort of doing a transitional period. I don't know, but could you have Metcalf, Sexton and Humphries in the same squad? And with Humphries maybe playing at like a 13, because he can play a 13 or something. Like, he can play a forward role.
Well, I mean, Humphries aside, I don't want Sexton and Metcalf as my halves.
100%. No, I agree with you there. I'm just saying.
But I think Jamie Humphries can coexist with either of those players.
Yes, that's sort of more I was alluding to. I just poorly questioned. But again, this is not a preference. But would you be at all disappointed if they signed Luke Metcalf?
No, but I would just be really curious as to what that means for Toby Sexton.
Okay, because I mean, Sexton has been playing 6 again, a fair bit in the Super League. So
whatever. I go off what I saw from him at the Bulldogs last year.
Yeah, I know. 100%.
He's a 7.
100%. I agree with you, but I'm saying
he's a complimentary 7.
Exactly. Could they be going, well, he's playing 6, maybe we could do that? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe could they be thinking, well, maybe he's playing 6, maybe we could.
I hope not. I hope they're not speculating the way you are. I hope they know what they're doing.
This is just my brain. I hope they don't, because this is why I don't do football. This is why I don't.
I hope the Bears recruitment staff know what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's all I'll say.
They have been. They've been a great job playing Moneyball. Like, I personally don't think we get him yet. I think you can only have one or the other. I agree. I think if you were to get Luke Metcalf, you probably won't be having Sexton, and Sexton probably will be pretty pissed off.
I think we've been manifesting the Matt Burton Bulldogs breakdown perfectly over the first 2 and a bit months of this podcast, and have a look at where things are at now. They are just slowly eroding, just like we said that they would.
Yep.
And it'll be no time at all before all of a sudden Matt Burton's agent knocks on Phil Gould's door and says, "Goodbye. All right, mate, it's time. It is time to grant us an opportunity to go and talk to rival clubs." Yeah. And that's when Matt Burton will sign for the Perth Bears.
He will. Did you say, again, did I hear you mentioning off air that Luke Metcalf has been linked to the Bulldogs?
Yeah, he's been linked to 2 Sydney clubs. Might be the Dragons and the Bulldogs, potentially. He obviously played at the Sharks previously as well. But yeah, exactly. If he's being linked to the Bulldogs and those are genuine,
and they want to move Galvin
there are
to
too
the
many
fix.
pieces to fit in there. I mean, I still don't get it because I'm a fan of Mitch Woods,
Yeah.
and I think Mitch Woods will eventually take over that number 7 job at the Bulldogs anyway.
But
So it's curious that the Bulldogs are going after Metcalf, if that is indeed accurate.
I mean, I wonder. Yeah, again, this I'll allude to something I mentioned many weeks ago. But maybe they might be losing a little bit of faith in Mitch Woods because of his injury worries.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
maybe.
I think the hammy had a setback. So it is possible.
So
it is possible that they're losing faith.
It's a shame, but I mean, at the time, like, it could be a case of the Bulldogs medical staff just being hopeless. How many injuries? So, watch this space. Very keen. Now, next week, I'm going to probably have a bit more Burton information for you. So I'll watch this space.
What a tease! What a tease to end the show on.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of teasing at the moment.
Love that. Well, everyone better tune back in next week on the Griswolds for that little nugget. But until then, thank you very much for listening. Please go and follow us on Insta at the Griswolds NRL, on YouTube at the Griswolds NRL, and please follow and subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast player, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. On Apple Podcasts, please go and give us a rating and a review. We need to build our subscribers so that we can start generating some organic search on those platforms. So
100%.
Please do us a favor so we can grow this platform.
Please do.
Mitch, that is it. Go you Bears.
Get amongst it.